Today's the day we get back on trail. We're leaving the motel room in Susanville, going to take the bus to Chester, and then stop at the post office, do some postal business, and then we have a trail angel who's going to pick us up at the post office and take us on out to the trailhead. We hope to get about 5 miles down the trail today. So back on the trail, first time since last Wednesday, I think. Today is Monday, June 24th, our wedding anniversary. This is our anniversary breakfast. We got orange juice, Denver omelet off the senior menu, and eggs Benedict.
Not off the senior menu.
Not off the senior menu. We're on the bus from Susanville to Chester. The ride is supposed to take about an hour and 15 minutes or so. We're in Chester, which seems like a nice little town. We came to the post office. Unfortunately, the umbrellas that we had asked our friend Colleen to send were not here. And the tracking numbers show the last place they were registered was in Federal Way, Washington. So who knows when they're going to get here. So we've asked the post office here to bump them up to Etna, which is, what, 200 and some miles ahead of us. We're not going to be there for a while. And we need to do a little more resupply shopping at this grocery store here. So it's going to delay our getting out to the trailhead, but we still hope to get out today and get some miles done today. Plan B would be to stay at the hiker hostel here in Chester. So it's nice to at least have that fallback. Fortunately, there was a nice grocery store very close to the post office, so we can get what we are missing here, except I don't see that they have instant grits, so that's a big disappointment. Gonna have to have oatmeal, I guess. This is getting on the PCT at Chester. I think these were the Dixie fire victims, all these trees. So we're going to be walking through a lot of burned area for a while. I'm not sure how long. And it's 4:15. So I'm not sure whether we're going to make the 3.5 miles or the 5.5 miles tonight. Had a bit of a delay with our resupplies, so we'll get as far as we get. This looks like it was an informational signboard that got torched in the fire, so it's just still here leaning against. I'm really surprised this stand survived, and the legs don't seem to be scorched. That's amazing. Here's a PCT blaze that was a casualty of the fire. We're glad to see that we are getting into some live trees up here. We're getting out of the burned area. I'm hoping that this is as far as the fire went, and this isn't just an island of trees that managed to survive. Right now it looks like the live trees extend on indefinitely, so that's good news. Kind of depressing walking through the burned out forest area.
There's a nice pine cone.
Not big enough to break your neck?
No, it's not near as heavy and big as those in Southern California. Nice one though.
Here's the trail we've been walking on. We came about 5 miles this evening and are going to camp down here. We were either going to come 3.2 or 5 miles, and we came the longer distance, which I'm glad we did because that put us into more green forest instead of camping in the burned area. It's much more pleasant and safer to be here where we don't have a bunch of dead snags around our tent. So we're going to eat dinner and then go to bed.
So tonight we just hiked 5 miles out of Chester and set up our camp, and we're going to have dinner. And we brought a salad out. So we each have a twisted Asian salad, which is my favorite. You can't find this everywhere. A lot of times I can only find it at a Safeway. And this was a holiday market. They didn't have a lot of the things that we like at this holiday market, but they had the twisted Asian Caesar salad. So this is what we're having for dinner tonight. Not a lot of protein in it, but it's something fresh.
Amazing number of calories.
Got some lettuce.
We're almost all packed up. And just done our exercises, and it's time to hit the trail. It's 6:02. A beautiful morning with a moon up there. I don't know if it comes across in the camera very well, but I guess right there. Very nice bridge across the North Fork of the Feather River. We got back into a burn area this morning, hiking through the burn.
There are these mushrooms growing on the black burned trees. And when I first glanced over there, it almost looked like they were lights, and there were lights turned on. I don't know that this is going to show it, but it's the way the mushrooms are almost, so contrasting with the black. It almost looked like there were little light bulbs turned on. Huh. Anyway, we've been going through all this burn. We've got a lot more to go. In fact, it sounds like there's even another 18 miles of burn on the other side of where we're going to camp. Where we're going to camp is a little island of green. And then somebody commented that 18 miles before that point, it's burned. Or maybe it was 18 miles before the geyser. Anyway, a lot of burned. When our daughters hiked through this in 2017, this was all nice, cool forest helping to shade them. I know it was still hot for them, but it would have been cooler than it could be now. No shade cover from the trees. Anyway, it's kind of sad to see. Also kind of boring to hike through. But that was kind of neat to see all those white mushrooms on the black trees. That's not boring. That's kind of cool.
We're at Terminal Geyser. The far out notes say this isn't really a geyser, it's just a hot pool other visitors have said they've seen it spout. So we decided to come down here and see it, and I guess we're gonna eat lunch while we're down here. It was about 3/10 of a mile off the trail, so it'll end up being a total of a 6/10 of a mile detour. I'm seeing steam rise off this creek here. I don't know how hot that water is. Maybe too hot to put your feet into, I don't know.
And we noticed there's an opening over here. Water has come out before, we think. And it's tempting to rain on us right now, but we're hoping it's not serious because we're sitting here eating. We've got a pepperoni stick, cheese, and smoked almonds for lunch. What are you eating for lunch?
I have this black pepper coated salami, cheese stick, and corn nuts and kind of sesame crackers.
Trying to get that protein in us and calories.
We're breaking off our lunch a little early because it's kind of sprinkling on us. We don't know if it's going to continue raining, so we thought we'd get on down the trail. But anyway, this is Terminal Geyser.
This is getting depressing. So much burn. And in some places, I should have shown the trail back there. You can't, it's so washed out and messed up, you can't even tell where the trail is. It's just really rather depressing.
Last night after we'd gone to bed, and after I'd slept a while, I woke up to a loud crack of like a tree branch breaking. I don't know where it was, but it sounded very close to our tent. And this area, actually, a lot of people aren't camping here because they've sent their bear cans back after they left the Sierra. And in Lassen National Park, you have to have some kind of bear food containment system in order to camp here. The URSAC is on the approved list, so we went ahead and camped here last night. But it is bear territory, and I don't know whether this was here yesterday or not, but this looks like pretty fresh bear scat right here. So if it wasn't here last night, then we had the bear that close to our tent. If it was here last night, then it was dropped obviously sometime earlier. But anyway, exciting times on the trail. Our food sack seems to have been undisturbed though. So we're packing up and getting ready to go. Now we do have to cross this river this morning. And it's going to be cold, but the river isn't terribly deep. It is running fairly swiftly, but I don't think we'll have any trouble crossing it. Got some swampy areas to walk through today. Fortunately, they gave us this very nice boardwalk to keep our feet dry. Not that our feet are dry now, because we waded that creek just a few minutes ago. Up to this point on the whole hike, we haven't really been bothered too much by bugs. In the desert, there were gnats that would buzz around our faces and be annoying, but this is the first time we've really run into much in the way of mosquitoes. And down here, we just walked along the creek bed, and it was very pleasant along the creek bed, pretty, you know, hear the water running, but boy, the mosquitoes were bad down there. So I didn't video the swarms of them. I probably should have, but we were mostly focused on just getting out of there. So now we're up here on this hill, and we have the sun, and we have a little bit of a breeze driving them away, so they're not nearly as bothersome.
The mosquitoes were dense.
Yeah, they were.
Like maybe one every per 2 inches. They were dense.
We stopped here at, I think this is something called a Lower Twin Lake for our second breakfast stop. We've moved out of the forest, well, into the former forest, but a lot of these trees are down. Got a bit of a wind blowing across every so often, which is kind of welcome because it cools us off and blows the mosquitoes away. Here's a nice water source in this kind of semi-desolate countryside. I actually went above the culvert to collect. Didn't really like the idea of the water running through that culvert, but it was probably okay. But I collected that little waterfall right up there. This is our campsite for tonight, right by this rushing creek. I forget the name of it. I think we're going to put our tent right here.